Good afternoon. Hello and welcome. Hi everybody, welcome to LA2M. Glad you're all here. My name is Jim Musio. I'm the president of LA2M and help kick these meetings off each month. I see a lot of new faces, which is awesome. It's great to have everybody here. LA2M is a nonprofit organization. We're finishing up our ninth year, our ninth season. It's been a great run. Next year we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary, so it's really exciting. We exist because of people like you who are interested in marketing, who have maybe a marketing background, or wear multiple hats at your at whatever profession you do. One of the goals of our organization is to share marketing tips, ideas, strategies, things that can help you with your daily marketing endeavors and what you have to do with your company, and hopefully to help you grow your company and business. We also want to network. We love to introduce people to each other. We love to have you guys meet each other and hopefully do business together and form both personal and professional relationships. And that's kind of been the goal of this organization for all these years that we've continued. We have a great board of directors that are all volunteer that put these together every month. Today is actually our last meeting of the season. We take July and August off for summer. Everybody kind of seems to have summer plans, so we kind of follow along with that and take the summer off. So after today, we'll be coming back in September, and you'll be receiving information if you're on our email list. If you're not receiving emails from us, please go to our website, LA2M.org. There's literally 2 clicks, put in your email information. We don't send out junk or spam email. We just send out email related to our events and share who we have coming so that you can plan accordingly. We do meet the second Wednesday of every month. I'm kind of assuming that we'll probably follow that format in the fall, but that's what we've been doing, and Wednesdays have seemed to work for all these years, so we've kept them like that. Like I said, LA2M has been around 9 years. Started as a very small group of guys getting together to share marketing ideas, and it's continued to grow since then, and we love to continue to share. And like I said, we're volunteers. We do have sponsorships. My sponsorship board, do we have 2 boards or just 1 board? Sponsorship board, we have, help me out, Stacey, sponsorships.
That's it.
I couldn't see it, I'm sorry. He's in my way.
I'm sorry.
B2B Creative Marketing, Corey, I don't see Corey here today. They've been a big sponsor of LA2M the last couple of years. University of Michigan Credit Union. Is anybody here from the credit union? I didn't see anybody. And then Corporate Designs. Ross Johnson is actually one of the founding members of LA2M. Has continued to support us. They're a web-based company here in Ann Arbor that specializes in WordPress sites. So those sponsors are really vital to help keeping our organization going, and we appreciate that. If you would be interested in sponsorship for next year, please see myself or Stacy or one of the board members, and we'd be happy to talk to you about sponsorship opportunities. You will see those in the email as well going out over the summer about sponsorship opportunities. The real reason you're here, not to hear me talk, we are really excited to have a speaker here today, Ian Mathews from Chancellor Consulting. Ian is from Ohio, so please be kind. Okay. He knows territory. He knows he's in hostile territory, so please be kind to Ian. But we all know that there is a lot of things that we can do in marketing, and Ian is going to share some of those secrets today with us. And hopefully, before you leave today, you'll have the opportunity to put some of what he discusses into practice with your business. Quick format, Ian's going to talk for probably about 40 minutes. I'm sure he'll keep it open and light, so if you have questions as you go along. Towards the end, if we have time for questions, we'll do some Q&A. And then before we all leave, we take the opportunity to stand up and introduce ourselves. We go around the room just so everybody can kind of hear who you are, what company you're with, and hopefully you guys can connect and network afterwards. So we were not in a hurry to get out of this room, so certainly enjoy lunch. I know they have excellent food here. With that, I will turn it over to Ian Mathews. Please help us.
Thank you. Good morning/afternoon, right in the middle of it. For those of you eating, I hope you don't fall asleep like I would after eating a lunch that you guys have. I appreciate everybody having me here today. Today my goal is to share information with you that can be applicable regardless of the industry that you're in or the profession that you're in, whether you work on the board, whether you are a director, whether you are a salesperson, a marketer, an entrepreneur, or self-owned business. A lot of these things are applicable across those channels and industries and mediums. So today, please have an open mind. Be ready to learn, because I would like for you to be able to apply one or two of the things that you take away from today to your business and grow with that. So a little bit about myself. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was actually born in the Columbus area, so go Bucks. My wife, Lindsay, I met 6 years ago when I was just getting out of college, when I had just failed my first miserable business, so life hit me hard at an early age. She gave me a lot of inspiration to do the things that I do today. She is a cardiac cath lab nurse at our local hospital, so if anybody has any nurses in the family, God bless them. We know how awesome they are and how great people they are. I like to travel, I like to eat, and I like to lift weights. I'm a pretty simple person. Along with that, I like to help people grow, and that really is my purpose. I was put on this earth to be able to provide some kind of inspiration, knowledge, or assets for other people to reach their potential. Anything from sports when I was a young child, up into owning my own businesses today. I'm a firm believer in that you grow with the team that you're with, and by providing them assets in your network and your team and your people, friends and family, whether it's a relationship, a business, or a client, that's how we all kind of grow together. So, let's break the ice a little bit. This is what I used to look like before I ate my former self. That was the day that we got married. We were in our backyard. We took a picture. Oddly enough, the gift that I gave my wife was a tree. So I decided to plant that tree in the backyard to kind of grow in the foundation of our family. So that picture was taken there. You can see my lovely dog Callow there, laying on the couch like a human. Another Halloween picture of him dressed up as Simba. And then that was me at the age of 3 and the age of 4 with a really strong mullet and in my ninja gear there. So a little bit about my companies. I am involved in a lot of things. It seems like there's a lot of similarities with what we do, and that would be a fair statement. When we make moves as a holding company, we do it laterally across industries. So I got started selling cars roughly 10 years ago in college when I went to Ball State for nursing of all things. I dropped out after a year and a half, and I got into the automotive business selling cars. And I started with the Rayle organization. They're a top 25 dealer group in the nation, top 25 internet dealer group as well. And in 2009, I was posting pictures of customers on Facebook. And it was something that I utilized as a pool of networking and a pool of lead sourcing, aside from what the dealership was doing for me. And this is at a point when my general manager was saying, get off your phone, get off Facebook, it's a fad. I'm like, I respectfully decline, and I'd like to prove you wrong for the mutually beneficial end result of both of us. So within a couple months, I was selling 5 or 6 cars a month. That then progressed to managing pages for the dealer group. That's when I then thought I knew everything, and I started my own company and failed miserably at the age of 21. I then went back into the automotive business after doing a short ring of consulting B2B. And most recently, I was the marketing director at a dealership that over a 22-month period, we tripled web traffic and then grew their average sales per month from roughly 85 to 222. We started specialty departments at a Ford dealership for lifted trucks and performance Mustangs that had articles that were picked up by Yahoo, and we were actually shipping performance Mustangs all across the United States with social campaigns that we were putting in action with some of the vehicles. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get into our Facebook ad section. AutoGrout is an automotive ad agency. We are in branding and marketing and consulting. So franchise dealerships hire us to do their marketing for them. So if it's a cell phone dealership and they don't have the funds or the capabilities to have a full team of marketers in-house, we provide that to them. SEO, SEM, production, we buy their Pandora, we write their scripts, we manage their ad budgets, we tell them where to spend their money with third parties like Cars.com and AutoTrader. And at this point, we just eclipsed 3 years as a company, and we've doubled as a company every year in gross revenue since the inception of AutoGrout. Earlier this year, my partner Nick and I started a real estate startup, another lateral move from automotive to where we now market and brand real estate agents. So we took everything that we learned, and I call it batting with the donut. You know how they get up in the bullpen and they swing with the donut and they take it off, and it's just like way easier. That's kind of what it felt like going to the real estate business. It's much more very dialed in, and a large group of people that for some way, shape, or form, ended up being a real estate agent. So we had a lot of value to provide there as a business. So that's really kicking off. We've already got 14 agents in 2 of the major brokerages in Ohio signed, Huff Realty and Iron Gate Realtors in Dayton. Overall, between the two, 1,400 agents. Earl Chancellor Media is our production company. So when we have production to do, videos, photo content, you see Eric in the back here today, that would be Earl Chancellor Media. So it's more of a holding for our production where we hire our own production team to do assets in multiple industries. Nice Marketing is the owner of all of these companies, which is what I'm in partner with Nick and I. We also work with small businesses marketing. And then, and then Chancellor Consulting is my own personal consulting company. I work one-on-one with business owners ranging from 800K to 10 million a year in gross revenue. And then we talk about their why. We talk about their purpose. We talk about what they're doing every day when they get up or why they get up and what they can do to be better. Because you'll be surprised that a lot of people do something for a very long time, decades, especially business owners, and they realize that they've just spent 20 or 30 years and they really don't know why they're still doing what they're doing. So through a process of self-discovery and starting with the why, if anybody is a Simon Sinek fan in here, I'm like in love. And that's kind of where it all stems from, is going through that protocol. Have you read the book Start With Why? Yeah, game changer, right? If anybody is a reader in here, I highly recommend Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It was a game changer. Our whole company read it. I buy the book for clients to have them read it, and it's a great learner. So my goal today, again, is to make sure that you guys walk away with some information. So I'm going to ask a lot of questions as we go through these topics. Please feel free to engage. I do not want this to be a monologue, so it'll be a collaborative effort to help everybody kind of discover where we can have some takeaways. So for SEO, we're going to talk about keywords, phrases, structures, tags, content, copy. So does anybody in the room know what SEO is, the definition of SEO? You're first, yes sir.
Well, I work for a web company that builds sites and apps and mobile. And so search engine optimization has always been an important part of what we do for our clients. You know, you spend the money to build a website, you want to make it beautiful, but it better be good enough, you better get found quickly. It's all about getting found, being discovered, making sure you're drawing the right kind of traffic to your site, getting those leads. So
absolutely. And it's always changing. Google's always changing things.
Yeah, I'm not the expert, but we have a couple of young people that are expert in that area, and like all the technology we do, literally within weeks, it changes again. You got to stay on it all the time.
Right, exactly. Moving on to paid search, which is SEM, so your Google ads. We're going to talk about actual PPC campaigns, so retargeting and display. Pre-roll, like on YouTube or interstitials, and then also dynamic display, which is something that's a little bit new to the scene. For Facebook, we're going to discuss content and initiatives, both on the management side and the ad side, which need to live as 2 separate worlds. So if anybody manages Facebook pages in here, if anybody's running Facebook ads or boosting posts, there really are 2 sides to the coin when it comes to Facebook, and they should be managed with a completely different perspective and mindset, because they both have their own benefits to running campaigns and content through those areas. And then the last, but certainly not least, and the most important thing for anybody in this room, if you're a business owner, if you're just a salesperson, if you're looking to grow, retention should be something that you hold tight to your chest, whether you're retaining clients, whether you're retaining employees, whether you're retaining information. Because you can see very clearly, if you look at trends and charts of the most profitable companies in the world, retention is one of their main focus, if not the main focus. Your Chick-fil-A is like, Chick-fil-A would not allow a customer to not come back because of a situation, and that's what generates revenue and generates brand credibility. Any questions about the topics we'll cover today? No? Awesome. Moving along. So SEO. First thing is, as Al, right? Correct? As Al mentioned, SEO is search engine optimization. So this is the effort and strategy put forth to ensure that when people search for you, you're found. Very simply put. So when somebody does a search for you in Google or Bing, the reason that certain pages show up more than others is because they have proper structured SEO campaign. Keywords are important. A keyword is something that somebody searches. You guys can see on the right column there under rankings. This is a tool that we use to rank actual keywords for one of our automotive clients. So things like Dodge Ram, trucks in my area, trucks for sale. Those are keywords and phrases that we focus on, and we actually build pages and content around that to ensure that people see those. And we can also see how many of those searches are happening in a given area, so you could run a simple audit to understand what your highest relevant keyword and phrases are. Structure is more of a technical aspect, and to be quite honest with you, is way over my head. I am not the technical guru whatsoever, so I'm not going to geek out on anybody today, but the structure and the tags and the metadata that is put on the websites, which is more on the back end, the Google visible side, not so much the UX, the user experience, is what Google needs to see as far as the data it's reading to push and publish your page higher in rankings. Content, of course, is king. So the page needs to be something that people value. Putting a page up that has no value but a lot of technical skill set and structure isn't going to do you any good, because Google will now value your page based on how long someone stays, based on the information, and whether they click through or continue to push through and engage in your site. Of course, your ad copy is important. It needs to have your phrases and your tags that are relevant to the key terms that people are searching for, but at the same token, it needs to be something that if you or I were to go to the page and read it, it would make sense and wouldn't sound like we're listening to a robot that just types something out on the page, because nobody likes that, right? And then the last, and one of the most important things, is reviews. People heavily underestimate what reviews can do, not only for your business, for your brand, but also for your online engagement. Because when you put reviews, Google will place relevancy scores on your business if you have Google My Business page. If there are multiple review sources, it'll kind of aggregate all of those review sources. You can see in some industries, there's actually tags underneath the Google reviews of other third-party sites and their review counts. So in automotive, for example, you know, the Cars.com review, the Auto Trader review, the Carfax review, they'll have the score indicators underneath the Google My Business tile. And a tip that I want everybody to write down is if anybody responds to reviews on Google, you can actually place keywords in your review. So if you do a search, and it's a long tail search, like a phrase or a couple words, when your rankings on the website show up that you're searching for, you'll notice ones that have high reviews, the keywords that you're actually focusing on, those will show up in your search and in the review itself. So if you look for best plumber in Arbor, and you have a positive review and you run a plumbing company, in the review, you can say, thank you for choosing the best plumber in Ann Arbor. Those are keywords. So it doesn't actually have to be only on your content on your website. Google will actually pick up phrases and keywords in your reviews, both for your customers and for you. So if you have a really great customer or client and you want to editorialize their review, hey, would you make sure to mention this or make sure to mention that? That's something that actually can increase your score. Any questions on SEO? Where we're at now?
So when you
Yes.
reply to a review,
Yes, ma'am.
does it help to put a keyword in that review?
And be creative. You know, you don't want to sound like a robot, of course, but you want to be relevant, and you can make it more of a long form review, kind of a little bit of like, thank you so much, we appreciate you taking the time to share your review with us, cite maybe what they mentioned in the review, and then a couple keywords that you would want to focus on that may be relevant to the business.
Okay.
What industry are you in?
I'm actually in two. I'm in the graphics business.
Okay.
And also the family entertainment business.
Affordable,
Fulton Center.
affordable design, you know, high quality designs. You know, thank you for allowing me to produce a high quality design for you, or a high quality image. You know, because people search for that kind of stuff, HD images, HD this, HD that. So those are actually keywords you could put in if people leave a review about like how much they like some of your work.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Here's a couple examples. So I had mentioned plumber. You can see the top two are going to be your ads. Those are Google ads. So if there's a little green line and a little green box there, those are ads. Those are paid for. And then further down the page, depending on your location, mobile has become more and more important over the years, and now it really dominates. So if you're mobile and you do a search, your geo is actually going to be the most influential thing. That's where it's going to push most of the information to you, rather than the actual SEO pages, or excuse me, the actual websites that are ranking in the bottom right-hand box that you see. Now, if somebody is doing a broad search and they're not including a geo, that's where your SEO strategy really kicks in and it really takes hold and takes effect. So moving on to paid search, SEM. Does anybody in here run paid search campaigns? No? Awesome. Good, 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 good. So a lot of you may have heard, you know, the battle between Google paid search and Facebook ads and where to spend your money. It's got to be right for the business. If it's a medium where not a lot of your consumers are in, or if they're doing particular searches, you have a specific funnel, there's a time and place for Google ads. It is more expensive than Facebook right now, but as Facebook becomes more popular and as their ad budgets increase at a global scale, you're going to start to see those costs go back up, and I'll provide some relativity as to what those costs are currently in a few industries at this point. So there's a couple different ways that you can buy Google Ads. You can do just regular search, which is PPC, pay-per-click. So you can see here the search for car dealership, and then you see the ads that are popping up. Each one of those were paid for, and the top one paid the most. The bottom one paid the least. So all paid search is really a bidding war. So it's how relevant is a key term or a phrase, how much am I willing to pay for it, and how many people are searching for it. And based on those data points, you can structure campaigns, you can structure profitability based on your conversions and how much business you see come through a paid search ad. And that helps you fundamentally structure how much online real estate you're going to buy. Now, another thing that everybody should write down, because if anybody's in the SEO or the SEM game, this is a value-added benefit to anybody's industry or business. A great SEO strategy will reduce your paid search costs. Can anybody explain why? Because this is all online real estate. So if you show up naturally when somebody searches for you, if you have organic ranking showing up, wouldn't that reduce the amount you'd have to pay for someone to see you anyway for that same term? So the more online, like Nike, if Nike wants to buy Nike, they're probably spending pennies on the dollar versus if Nike wanted to buy Adidas or hiking.
So Ian, you're basically saying you're getting an organic find in a view of your page versus a paid click.
Correct.
Okay, or a paid find.
Correct.
Okay.
Conquest, so competing names and terms from competitors. So let's say there's a paid search battle for plumbers in Ann Arbor. If plumbers want to buy the other company's name, so if I do a search for LA2M Plumbing Company, but Ann Arbor Plumbing wants to show up, Ann Arbor has to pay probably 3x what LA2M pays for that word because it's not theirs. They don't own it. They have no real estate for it. Does that make sense?
Borders on ethics too, yeah.
Right. So conquest is expensive. So, if you have great retention, you don't need to go reach other people. And we'll get that at the end, but conquest is a very expensive proposition, but it's easy to do with paid search because you just buy what people are searching. So retargeting display, we've all seen it. If you're online, you go to a website, you get retargeted on Instagram, you get retargeted, you see little squares, they're pop-ups, the articles you click on with you only read half of it and you gotta press next and go to the next one, all little squares. That's retargeting and display. Very low cost, high exposure, big impressions, a lot of eyeballs, very little clicks, even less conversions. Almost never converts. We see it, but we don't click on it. It looks like clickbait, right? So it's more of a branding, impression-based ad. So when you dedicate budget towards it, it's different than buying the words. You're buying exposure with retargeting and display. Yes?
So you understand that when you're doing this, you're not, I see this all the time, I'm like, stop bothering me.
Right. Right.
And so what's
What's the question?
what's the benefit?
It's exposure, it's impressions, it's eyeballs. A lot of businesses.
There's no bad publicity, or?
It's one of those things that's a dying breed. It used to be big, but it's so low cost. Like for perspective, when the new F-150 came out, if a dealership in a B market, which would be like a Dayton, Ohio, like roughly 600 to 800,000 people, if they wanted to buy the keyword F-150 in their 10-mile geo, they were paying up to $27 for a click. Not a lead, not a conversion, just a click. If they wanted to run that F-150 image, we have new F-150s in stock, and push it out to 100,000 people, it would cost them roughly 40 cents a click. But it's very low quality. Because there's very rarely ever a great landing page, so when they click on it, you go to inventory, or you go to like the home page. So you bounce, you leave, right? So it's one of those things that it's a dying breed, and we dedicate roughly 5 to 10% of budgets towards it for perspective when we run the campaigns. Video pre-roll, in-stream, we've got the little 15-second ad, we've got a long video on YouTube, that's all run through the Google Display Network. So when you buy video pre-roll, when you see a YouTube video before you start a video, or in the middle of it, somebody has purchased that within the Google Ad Network. Dynamic display is something that will actually populate what you search. It's a newer feature with Google, so if I were to type in something specific like drain clog geo, my ad that would come up, if it was a relative term for any kind of like plumbing or maintenance or repair, it would actually have drain clog in the snippet, like find out more about drain clog. So it would actually pull that script and push it into your ad. It's a little bit more technical in nature in the way to set it up, but it's all based on algorithms and what people are searching. It has a really high converting value. because people see exactly what they search, they click through, and then they convert. And then metrics. So this is a little small, I apologize. But the metrics that you're going to want to look at are total clicks, impressions, which are eyeballs, how many people actually saw the ad, your total cost, of course, to make sure that you remain within budget. And generally, I mean, you can set stop limits, kind of like, if you're buying stocks or options, but you're usually within like 1 to 2%, depending on, because if somebody doesn't click on it from 10 to midnight and you don't spend that money, you don't spend that money. Your average cost per click, so every industry has a different average cost per click. Most industries range from 50 cents to $5, depending on what the product or good sold is. Your conversions, of course, your value is how the lead comes through, and if it comes through, there's forms and there's also calls. So you'll notice on mobile, if you do a search for something, there'll be a click to call up on the ad. That's an actual Google ad that's run at a much less cost-effective rate. And then your conversion rate and value percentage. Any questions on the metrics or how paid search is structured at a top level? Good? Awesome. Moving on to Facebook. Who in here manages a Facebook? Who in here has a Facebook? Most of us? All right. Who in here has ever deleted their Facebook? A couple of us, right? Good. So Facebook is obviously something that should be utilized as a long-term follow-up tool. That's what I've always believed. That's how we train our people. That's how we manage for our clients. So people say, like, what's the good of a Facebook page? What's it do when I post content? Well, if it's utilized as a long-term follow-up tool, if you use it to share stories about your products, your customers, your story, your why, if you use it to relate to your consumer or your client, if you use it to have a long-term story or a brand that you want to represent through credibility, that's what the Facebook page is for. Facebook pages aren't for selling things. It's for storytelling. It's to retain your people. If you have a industry or you work in an industry that has a product or good where people leave reviews, or that you actually get people engaged with your products or your services, them putting content, putting your customers and clients on Facebook is something that is exceptional as far as reaching organic value, because they're in it, they're tagged, they're telling friends and family, and it's a lot of added exposure. So you can do happy customer posts, you can share stories, community involvement, that's always a great thing. It seems like everybody in here may have some kind of level of community involvement given the audience today. So that's something that is really useful when you start to tag other businesses and properties online. As far as reach goes, how-to or explainer videos, testimonials are really big. Video testimonials have gotten bigger over time as well. New products, of course, awards and achievements. A lot of people like to hear about the great things that you're doing, and a lot of businesses or projects will say, well, we got the award, but we don't want to shout it, we don't want to boast. You can promote that kind of stuff without being boastful or egotistical. You can place it as a goal that you reach. We had this goal and we achieved this award, because everybody likes a winner, right? So there's nothing wrong with just saying that you won. Tom Brady's not shy about holding his rings up for winning the Super Bowl, so we shouldn't be shy about the achievements that our business or our people accomplish, because that's why we're all here, right? Is to achieve goals and reach higher. Employee spotlights. It's something that I've realized a lot of businesses don't promote their employees, especially the people that do a damn good job at what they do and fight for a cause. The amount of gratitude that employees receive from just having recognition or being spotlighted has been unbelievable. I've seen it over the last 3 or 4 years create an extreme sense of empowerment with employees. If you sell anything and you have salespeople or you have people that have to be proactive or forward-thinking, empowerment is one of the strongest tools that you can instill in your people for them to do things on their own accord, fighting for a cause that they believe in. Events, of course, goes without saying, and then announcements. I urge businesses and clients to promote everything if they can. If one of their employees has a baby, congratulate it. I know, like Ohio State, all the babies that are born on the UM day, on the game day, have their little swaddles, and they've got the score. What was the last score of the game? I don't know either. Moving on. I had to, I'm sorry guys, I had to put something in there at some point. All right, so Facebook posting. Don't ever go into Facebook posting content without a plan of action or a goal. That's where it becomes white noise. That's where it's static. That's where people don't engage and they don't value, and then they get annoyed, and then they unfollow you, and now you're beyond reaching somebody on social like you really wanted to. So I always recommend going in, am I trying to generate a lead? Do I need to promote a reviewer testimonial? Is there an announcement that I need to promote? Do I need to create added exposure? And then making sure that your post involves rich custom content, photos, videos, clear text message. Does your post provoke, engagement, sorry. Open-ended response statements and questioning, which is really good. People ask, like, how do I produce engagement? Well, you ask something that somebody would have to respond to. So engagement's the big word nowadays, and people tend to forget that it's really just an effort to get people to respond to what you're saying. Excuse me, I'm gonna take my jacket off, I'm getting warm. All right, and then next, am I posting at the appropriate time? So, I mean, when everybody checks their Facebook is before work, at lunchtime, at the end of the night, so that's really when you should be posting. Now, it goes without saying sometimes if you post when not everyone else is posting, you have more exposure, more of an opportunity to create engagement, so you kind of got to test out and see what works for you. Is it better posting when the entire aggregate of everybody's posting, or is it better to focus on more opportune times where there's less people actually online, so you stand out a little bit more? I've got a long list of ideas here. I believe you've got the slide deck. You guys have access to the slide deck afterwards?
Sure.
Yeah, great. So I won't spend too much time going through these, but I want to put together specific post ideas for everybody. So these could be relatable to anything that you guys are doing. It's very broad. There's a lot of just different creative ideas on things that you can actually execute with your business, regardless of the business or the industry. One of my favorites is if you're in a sales profession and you're selling anything, it's a good idea when you go to like a restaurant to ask for the general manager, ask for the person in charge, and thank them for the service that their server provided you. That generally probes like a conversation. Well, what do you do? So if you're willing to like go straight to the top to talk to business owners and just thank them for what their employees did, I think you'll be really surprised at like how intrigued they are and interested in what you do. And if you're selling something, then maybe there's a mutually beneficial relationship that you can kind of conjure at that point. So that was something that I did when I was doing some B2B consulting, and it really benefited a lot as far as getting into the top and making sure I was speaking to the business owner. All right, Facebook ads. This is a little bit more exciting. So is anybody running ads in here on Facebook, or has anybody ran ads or boosted posts? What kind of ads have you run? What industry?
It's actually for a personal thing that I do. It's for a musical group I'm a part of.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So just spending a little bit of money to target certain audiences by
Okay.
their geography or interests or something.
Gotcha, gotcha. What have you seen from spending that little bit of money?
Not a whole lot. It's mainly more, I think, about our just general approach as a group,
Right.
where our marketing really hasn't been that strong.
Right. And
To be honest.
And it's crazy right now. An organic post, you'll get anywhere between 3 and 5% reach on an organic post without spending money on it. 3 to 5%. So that's why you'll see if you run a business page, very, very little engagement if you don't put any money on it. If you put the money on it, the type of engagement that you can produce is as good as the content and as valuable as what you're trying to promote to that end user. So there's a lot of different variants that you can kind of take hold of. Static content, which are just images. Your videos, which are always going to be more engaging. I believe it was like 82% of all content engaged with last year on Facebook was video. Like 8 out of 10 people, I mean, you get on your Facebook now and it's about 8 out of 10 pieces of content you see are videos in some way, shape, or form. Same thing with Instagram. Once you start watching videos, they push a video feed to you, so it's more of a natural trend. Retargeting, the same way that you do on Google, you can also do on Facebook. You can retarget people based on the engagement on your ads. You can also target people based on their engagement on other websites. So there's different ways to do that. Engagement funnels, So an engagement funnel, for example, would be doing a how-to video on your product or good, only running that video for reach and engagement, brand awareness, so views, vanity play, we're just trying to get a bunch of views. And then after that video runs for like 7 days, for example, about your product or good, you would then build an ad that only targets people that watch the entire video. So instead of building an ad that says, here's my product or good, here's the value, here's the benefit, here's the cost, call to action, sense of urgency, you run a video ad that provides value to the user, something that they absorb and something that they value themselves. Then you run an ad based on that low funnel engagement of who watched the entire video. So the difference between running an ad to that broad audience versus the lower funnel video audience is about 3 to 1 your cost. So by just running an ad video and then running the static ad afterwards, your cost will be reduced by 30%. Teaching funnels, a little bit of what we just mentioned. Special offers, of course. There's a lot of ways you can do download coupons and cool different effective ways on social. Actual coupons that you run for special sales. And then, of course, testimonials. Who in here travels often or flies a couple times a year? You guys notice when you buy the ticket, when they ask for the insurance, there's a little like review there from Joe that glad he bought insurance so he didn't have to miss his flight to Europe. You know, these companies are using reviews and testimonial clubs in their actual call to actions and where they're at, or excuse me, where they're trying to produce more revenue. So, as a business, if you build a landing page or you build an ad or you have a cart and somebody's acquiring a product and exchanging for value or currency, putting an actual like one-line review with said customer is a way to produce more conversions on that actual page. So it's something that the big companies do, so we dialed that in and then do it on multiple assets. It's really been effective for us. Do we have any questions about the individual Facebook ads? Any curiosities? Yes?
It's more of a social media question rather than specifically
Absolutely.
Facebook. Because my day-to-day job, I work in B2B stuff.
Right.
And our company is fairly active on LinkedIn in terms of just same stuff, you know, promoting content.
Just on another platform, basically.
We won this, so similar types of things. I guess my other question is, do you see success on one platform versus another?
Depends the industry.
Yep.
Depends on who's running it. You know, there are paths that cross depending on when you run these ads. So for example, if you're running something that has more of a quick click acquire, so something like a product or a good, it's easier to run ads on Instagram and on Facebook. If you're running ads for employment or you're trying to find people, LinkedIn is a great source because that's what people say. It just depends on what the content is and what the goal, just like anything.
Okay.
You go out on the golf course, you grab a specific club depending on the situation, so it's very similar. You just have to analyze it and understand what's going to be most beneficial.
Yeah, I had a colleague run a campaign on LinkedIn earlier this year about a specific market where we're trying to engage and say, here are our offerings in this particular market. So that's just something I picked up on.
Right, maybe something that they could do instead of like, here's our offerings on the first run, put some kind of value campaign together over time to coach and teach, get the buy-in, and then hit them with the offer afterwards.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yes.
Hi, Ian.
Hi.
When you put the testimonials up,
Uh-huh.
do you use first name, last name, company name?
First name.
First name,
First
and do you
name.
put company name?
Depends again if it's B2B.
B2B.
I have no problem with that. A lot of, I train like hundreds of salespeople across the Midwest because I obviously started out there, so I can try to build credibility when we're teaching them like what they should be doing on social. And something that I've always said is like, well, when do I ask them to get the picture? And it's, you don't ask them, you just tell them. Like, hey, stand next to the car, I'm gonna get your photo with your new car. Like, they want it, they wanna show their friends, their family. Like, very rarely has anyone said like, no, I can't. Usually it's like, oh, my hair doesn't look good. You know, I didn't wear what I wanted to wear. But like, I've never had anyone reach back out and say like, hey, take my photo off Facebook. So, great question, it's one of those things, but first name or whatever they're comfortable with. If you have more of a relationship, I think being candid is best. So first name, last name, tagging them, taking a picture of them. It's hard to get photo content and a review at the same time. So for like real estate, our agents will try to grab content of them and then post that as the image with the testimonial. Because if you put too much text in an image on Facebook, it'll reduce the reach.
Right.
So they try to keep it to 20%. That's why you see those videos with like the borders and all the text like really crunched in there, because those are the guidelines of Facebook. You want visual content, put your ad copy in the post itself. It'll perform better 100% of the time. All right, moving on. Are we good on where are we at on time?
We got about 10 minutes.
Perfect. So this is a little bit of the back end of Facebook ads. Everybody remembers when the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal happened a couple years ago. Zuckerberg was at Congress talking about privacy laws. Does anybody really know what actually happened there? Because it never really came out.
Well, they were giving data that they had harvested from people on Facebook, like you and me, and they were, I think they were, was it both political and commercial, or was it just political?
Mostly political. So it was actually 3 guys in the garage, literally. Data sourcing. So you know when you download an app, you log in with Facebook. Use Facebook to log in. It's almost like habitual at this point. So it was just another app. There's over 8 million app integration login portals for applications connected with Facebook. So you create an app, you want to use Facebook to log in, you hook up the API, make sure your privacy is strict, and then you're good to go. Well, these 3 guys did that, and instead of, when you click it, it says this profile wants access to you and your address and your date of birth or your friends lists, they actually pulled all of the information from not only the people that logged in, which was like 8,000, but all of their friends and family's information as well, which is how the number got to 80 million people. It went from 8,000 to 80 million people, and then they took all that and tried to sell it. So I met with Facebook, I was in a room and there was a representative from there, and he basically laughed it off, yeah, we really screwed up. Our PR is really bad, as you can tell. And we're like, yeah, no kidding. He's like, stuff like this with Google happens all the time, you just never hear about it. They keep it hush-hush, they take care of it, they know. So that's what happened. They got rid of it, and we're back to normal. Now, they did say that they were taking away some of the targeting capabilities. They took away the ability to select them manually, but they didn't take away the ability that Facebook has to target people. So there's been a lot of new things. I know Matt sees a lot of it in the assets and campaigns that he runs, but it's ever changing. I mean, we'll have different pages with different ad accounts across the country, and they all work differently. So Facebook's always testing little things.
This is more a personal question.
Sure.
I never use Facebook to log in or anything else. When it gives me that option, I
Right,
never
good
do
thing.
it. I always create independent. So is that something that's protecting me?
Yes, I think the less data points you have connected, the better. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm really weird about doing the audit, those apps you can plug in the Chrome that saves all your passwords and stuff. I'm really weird about that. I feel like it's somebody just accessed that point. They have all my passwords. So changing up the passwords and having different ones for sources and different logins. I usually do that from time to time as well. But yeah, I mean, they're tight. They're protecting stuff at this point. I don't think it's a concern by any means, but to each their own.
The first time it actually became available, I thought, yeah, no.
Yeah, they and I mean that's how they find out about everything. Access camera. I mean, I stood next to a gentleman one night at an event, and I really liked his jacket. I was like, I like that jacket. He's like, thanks. I got it off Groupon. I'm like, cool. So the next day, I take a picture of him in my camera roll. The next morning I wake up and on Instagram is that freaking jacket. On Instagram. With a Groupon ad on. I'm like, whoa, here we go. This is weird. So I tried to screenshot those. I obviously didn't record the conversation, so there's really no proof, but I promise it happened.
Did you get a jacket though?
I didn't. It was a strong jacket. It was red with velvet lapels, like a Christmas jacket. Yeah, not worth it. So this is the back end of Facebook. There's different objectives. Facebook ads aren't difficult to run necessarily, but it's difficult to structure them in a way that's profitable for a business. Anybody can go in and just build an ad, but whether it actually builds value or revenue for a business or brand awareness is another story. So the left column you'll see here for awareness, both brand awareness and reach are exposure plays, so similar to impressions with paid search. Right? We talked about buying impressions, buying views with the display ads, very similar to the left column. In the middle column, for consideration, you can actually structure an ad to generate more traffic or people that are more apt to click on something from Facebook and go to a website. Engagement in your actual content, comments and shares, application installs, video views, lead generation, so actual lead forms on Facebook. I don't know if anybody's ever actually filled a form out on Facebook. You can save them, push them to a CSV or an Excel file. You can get people to subscribe for things that way. So there's a lot of unique ways you can build lead forms there. And then of course messages. Messenger has become huge on Facebook right now. Bots have been created. People are getting ads and conversations in Messenger relative to what they're talking about. So it's kind of creepy, right? You talk about something in Messenger and then you get an ad about it. Well, if you're talking in Messenger, it doesn't have the same privacy guidelines as text does. It's not encrypted like text. So they read and see everything. So if you ever have anything important to talk about, don't talk about it through Facebook Messenger. Talk about it through text. On the column to the right, conversions. Conversions are going to be tracked based on leads sent from a website or click to calls. So if somebody goes and you get a lead, if you place a pixel, which is a bit of code, on your website, it will tell Facebook how many leads have come through. So if you put an ad for registrations for this event here, you could put a pixel on whatever form page is to sign up for this event. You could then take that ad and run it to people that go to events like this, and the pixel will tell you when they send in a reservation or RSVP, hey, Facebook sent this person to you. Facebook sent this person. You can look not only at the page they sent it from, but also where they came from and what they clicked on in the process. This is one step further into audience details. So this is a little bit of behind the scenes. How do you build an audience? You can, based on age demographic, gender, geo, depending on the industry, there are certain guidelines, so you can't discriminate in some industries. A lot of industries relative around real estate, financing, things like that, you're not allowed to discriminate, so the targeting has to get a little bit creative. You can also do interests and behaviors. You can upload website lists. So you can download an IP list from your website. You can upload that back into Facebook, or you can just place a simple Facebook pixel on your website and target people that way. So if you have a product, good, or service, and there's a dedicated page to that product or good, you can actually send ads to people that have only been to that page. So if I'm selling makeup, and I'm selling lipstick, and I'm selling eyeliner, and I want to sell this specific eyeliner or a coupon for it, I'm going to make sure that when I build my ad, that people that only went to that eyeliner product page are going to get my ad. So it doesn't have to be the entire website as a whole, and that goes with any good, any service, and a little bit of what we talked about as far as building the video to engage, and then serving somebody and retargeting. In the top right corner is placements. So now that Facebook and Instagram are together, you can actually push ads from Facebook to Instagram. But be careful, because it tends to push more to Instagram than Facebook if you let it run automatic. And it boosts your numbers, it looks great, but depending on the ad, if it's on Instagram, like, you should be running dedicated Instagram ads and dedicated Facebook ads. Much, much different of a world and a different landscape. Who in here has an Instagram? Half of us? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah? All right, cool. Bottom right, budget and schedule. You can set daily budgets. Yes, sir. You can set lifetime budget. You can set a budget per campaign. You can set a budget per audience. So that kind of allows you to A/B test and see what works. If you do run ads, run as many ads as possible with different pieces of content. And over like a 7-day period, you actually see what works better, so you can reduce your ad budget and costs and make sure that your ads are more effective in the long run as far as revenue. The most important piece here is retention. So retention does a lot. It is the lifeblood of any business. It is the lifeblood of really any relationship. You know, the longer you have a relationship, the more you put into it, the longer you retain that relationship, the better the relationship should be, right? The more you can get into it. So that goes for business, it goes for life, it goes for really anything. Increase profits in a business. Of course, the longer you can keep your customers, the more they're going to pay. It costs a lot to find new customers. It does not cost very much to retain them. You just have to do it right and take care of them. Helps you reduce your ad spend, so if you don't always need new customers, if you've got repeat customers, obviously you have to not spend as much in ads. Training progress, it takes time, money, and effort to train people. The more people you have to do that with, and the more restarts you have, the more money and time spent. You can develop your people quicker. Cross-training is a very, very, very leverageable thing in a business. If you can have individuals cross-train one another and dedicate that empowerment at a lower level, people respond a lot better than from a trainer if one of their constituents are also training them. Accurate understanding of your assets. So if you're retaining your customers and your employees, there's a better understanding of how the business works. There's more consistent data points. You know what's coming in and going out, so it allows you to make better moves and better decisions. Of course, more referrals, and then creating brand ambassadors. Brand ambassadors are people that are going to go out and promote your business. They can be employees, they can be customers, they can be friends or family. Anybody that you provide enough information and empowerment to and take care enough, they're going to want to do business, and they're going to want to share what you've done for them with their friends and their family, because I know that I want to buy things from someone I know. I'd prefer not to, because I can trust them more. So the more trust you instill in your customers and your products and goods, the more brand ambassadors you'll create. And always remember that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Somebody's not going to buy from you because you have that product or because it's for that price. They're gonna buy from you because of why you're selling it. What's the cause? What's the justified purpose? Very, very important in marketing. If you have that in mind when you approach marketing, your whole game changes. Things just work better. It's kind of like magical, but it's just an alternative perspective to look at things. And passion always performs. Thank you all very much. Tons of questions.
So we have a moment for just maybe a couple quick questions. Anybody got a quick question?
Well, maybe this is not so quick. The question is quick. You haven't said anything about Amazon when it comes to physical products. How about saying something now?
Amazon's taking over the world. Their ability to create a consumer-based supply chain management company that delivers everything consumers want today, because consumers are now valuing time more than anything, right? Whether you make $1 million a year, you make 20 grand a year, people have 24 hours in a day. So what Amazon's been able to do is build a company that delivers the things that people like you and I need quicker and easier and mobile. So Amazon's big win is they do things before the consumer knows they need them. That's Amazon Prime. If you read articles from Jeff and how he put that together, he attributes a lot of the success of Amazon to Amazon Prime. He says, our customers didn't call us and say, hey, we need Amazon Prime. I need a $99 a year subscription service where I get on-demand ordering, I get wardrobe, I get discounts. They created it, and he mentions that as scaling large companies, if you can head to curb and do what your consumers don't know they need and provide that to them before they need it, that's how you become an Amazon.
Cool. One more quick question right here.
Yeah, so I received an email from Facebook Business, wanting to feature my small business. Is that something that's worthwhile or not?
Absolutely. Facebook is scaling up big this time. We've got a few people that reach out to us from time to time. We've got a couple dedicated analysts, but to be quite honest, I think they're managing like 300 accounts at a time. So I think they're testing more than anything. But the good thing for you is if they've engaged to that extent, there's something special about what you're doing. So you never know what opportunity could come out of that. And at the very end, you're gonna be able to learn. And I think that kind of stuff is cool when you talk to your customers or clients or other people, is like, not everybody has access to like a real person at Facebook. So take every advantage and opportunity if that stuff presents itself. Yes, ma'am.
One more.
So you said be careful because you said Instagram tends to push ads to Facebook, or what? I didn't quite understand.
When you're building Facebook ads, there's an option that says automate placement. So Facebook and Instagram algorithms will say, well, this is going to be better if it's here versus here.
Okay.
If you automate it, we talked about display being different than PPC, pay-per-click. It's more impression-based, so you're paying for the eyeballs rather than the click. That's very similar to the way that you do it, because you're going to get a lot of eyeballs on Instagram because there's a lot of content that publishes. Facebook, there's stories, there's links, so like people are slower on Facebook. Instagram is like picture caption, picture caption, picture caption. So like you're going to get more eyeballs, and yeah, your numbers are going to look great. Like there's a lot of companies that'll say, yo, you got 80,000 impressions on your ads. Like your prior company was 40K. Well, did they clarify that 70K was from Instagram and they actually underperformed Facebook prior month?
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff to investigate and ask further details and questions about, well, how do those numbers shake out? So they live in both worlds.
All right, thank you.
Great question.
Awesome. If we could, one more time, thank you. I sit here each month and I just am amazed at the quality of speakers that we have come here every month, and I love the passion. Ian shared a lot of really great information, and it's stuff that we do every day, not just in business, but in our personal lives as well. We're all on Facebook and Instagram. I can't believe every person in here didn't raise their hand. You're all on Facebook and Instagram.
I saw like pinkies.
There's a bunch of liars in this room. We're all there socially, and if we're not, our family, our kids, our grandkids are. If I don't know something, I call my kids and say, show me how to do this, because they know how to do it. Our children, our grandchildren are doing things that we never thought we could do, and then that's just going to continue. So that's awesome. I love the passion when someone comes up here and can speak from the heart and tell you who's done it, who is sharing things that, and I made several notes in my phone of things that you brought up that I think are really important, so thank you for that information. That's what's awesome about LA2M, is having people come in here and share great ideas. Hopefully, Ian, you can stick around for a few minutes. So if you got some more questions, I know we can get everyone's questions, but take a minute, come up, introduce yourself, and ask a question. This is also one of my favorite parts of LA2M, is at the end, we all have the opportunity to stand up, introduce ourselves, if you want to, you don't have to, but we'd like you to introduce yourself. Just tell us who you are and your company. If you have a really quick ask, please don't tell a story, but if you say, hey, I'm looking for, something specific, share it with the group, and hopefully you guys can connect and network afterwards. Man, I'm gonna ask you to start just to kind of get the ball rolling and show everyone how to do it.
I'm Matt Aldrich. I'm a board member here at LA2M and founder of Angor Media. Just want to thank everybody for coming out today on the last day of our season, and for everyone else that has been here previous events this season. Thought we had a really great run of speakers, and hope we can get everyone back for our 10-year anniversary in September. So be on the lookout for it. Awesome.
We'll go table to table.
My name is Shelby Benzinger. I work in IT at IHA.
Hi, I'm Dave Koziel at Arbor Software. We're a software consulting company, mostly specialized in mobile, but also a lot of machine learning stuff.
Hello, my name is Nana. It means I am who I am in Korean, Nana. And I came here 3 months ago, and now I'm here. I'm a Korean teacher, Korean language teacher, and I started my YouTube channel. So very new. So I'm excited about it. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Jin Song. I'm still a student and thinking for going into sports marketing and sports management stuff.
Awesome, welcome. Carol.
My name is Carol Carpinelli. I'm a certified health coach. I help people to overcome cravings and enjoy food, not feel deprived.
I'm her lucky husband. I'm Al Carpinelli from Logic Solutions in Ann Arbor. I've been a visitor in LA2M infrequently, but I came today specifically so Carol could learn about marketing. All of you know marketing drives the company. I'm not a marketer, I'm a sales professional. And I know marketing drives the company. I don't invent the message, marketing does. My job is to help tell that story and the message. Thanks for having us. Ian, thank you for driving all the way up to Cincinnati.
Yes.
I hope you felt warmly welcome here in Ann Arbor.
Absolutely.
I mean it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Jeff?
Hi, my name is Jeff Worcester. I'm a retired hedge fund manager and just investing my money now.
Goals.
What's that?
Goals.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Janet Nance.
Coin.
Right.
I'm a copy editor and writer for hire. I've done everything. I work for the Tauber Institute of Global Operations at the University of Michigan. I do blog posts, social media, book editing, ghostwriting, you name it, I'll write it or edit it.
Hello everyone, my name is Lee. I work for Printech, which is a commercial printer on the west side of Ann Arbor off of Jackson Road. I'm gonna just circle so I can make eye contact with everyone. So I just started in February. I'm growing my client base, so if you have anyone who does regular printing, maybe not happy with what they're doing, or their current print provider, I'd love to hear from them, or you, or whatnot, so thanks.
I'm Jason, and I'm a teacher at the Ann Arbor Music Center.
I'm Bill Lockwood from Alpha Intelligence Consulting. We do consulting on very high-speed internet, but I'm also the point person for, no one has heard of 5G, have they?
Yeah.
So 5G is actually minutes away from arriving here in the Detroit market. And it is as good as you've heard, only better.
Hey there, I'm Luke Briggs. I'm an intern at Bosch in Farmington Hills, and I'm here just to learn a little bit.
Marketing intern?
Business development.
BD?
I'm Val Juskevich. I'm a music industry consultant. What I deal with is connecting creators of products, music products, with commerce.
All right.
I'm Katie of Inspired Video Marketing. So the videos that you would see either on the Facebook page or in the Facebook ads, those would be things that I do. And marketing does work. I've seen a bunch of the posts, and I've wanted to come to this for a while, but I, didn't convert. And then, one more tap from Mr. Matt over there, and I'm like, all right, it's done.
Hi, I'm Katie Stuss from Color Image. We do custom t-shirts and apparel, promo products, and graphics. And we specialize in online stores.
My name's Greg Potteralla. For the last 20 years or so, have worked as a sales and business development person in the specialty materials business, calling on the automotive industry. And last year, a marketing position opened up at our company. I convinced the higher-ups to please hire me because I think I can do a great job, and they said yes. So I'm trying to build my skill set in the whole marketing and market management side of things. So that's why I'm here today. And it's nice to see somebody from Bosch because you guys are one of our big customers. So thank you.
Awesome.
My name is Renee Fonseca. I own Mod Squad Salon in Saline, and this is my first event. It was fantastic. Thank you. And I learned a bit through a Facebook share, so that was great.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Stacy from Dollar Bill Printing, your local digital print shop in Ann Arbor, so you know you can get everything from me. And I just want to say, Renee does my hair. So, Mod Squad is the place to go, and I finally got her here, so everybody go to Mod Squad.
Thank you.
My wife's been telling me to cut my hair for like the last 2 months.
There you go.
I just don't know what to do with it anymore.
I love a man bun.
I'm Carter Sherline, Frog Print Studios. I'm a commercial editorial, portrait photographer, videographer, just about any kind of videographer that fly drones, anything you might use for content, say in your marketing. And but I shoot a lot of running and golf, which is what I'm doing a lot of this month. You may see me in the background on the Golf Channel this weekend. There's an LPGA tournament. Hopefully not, it's not supposed to be. But anyway, yes.
Hey Eric, how about you in the back? You want to say something?
Eric, sorry, I had to do it. Photographer.
Are you also from Ohio?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he drove here from Pittsburgh to be here today. He drove
my
to
God.
Pittsburgh. We met.
Thank you for being here. Roger.
Yeah, and I'm Roger Rayle. I'm also a videographer and photographer, and I help out with a lot of various networking events, including this one, and also do some other large form, long form, worthy community events, A2 New Tech and Leaders Connect and things like that. And I got to give you the card for Ann Arbor Video Interest Group because even though we've ended our season 2, it will start up again in September, and we've got a whole range of speakers all the way through the end of the year. It's a great group like this is. So
awesome. And again, my name is Jim Musial. And aside from working with the organization, I work for Amazon. I am a process assistant at Amazon's largest robotic fulfillment center in North America, which is right here by Metro Airport. If you ever see it driving by, you'll see a really big building back there off of Vining Road. They put that road in just for Amazon. And it is amazing, the technology that's there. So if you get your product today, you're welcome. If you don't get it,
Was that question placed? Because I didn't know he was saying right next to me.
Only indirectly.
yeah, okay. So I was sandbagging here.
Was I accurate?
It is absolutely amazing. I mean, right now, and actually we have Prime Day coming up, which is Amazon's birthday, where everybody has access to Prime, and I think it's July 14th or something like that is their birthday. We are processing close to 5 million pieces per week. 5 million. So we actually have mandatory overtime this week because of Prime. There's so much stuff going on. We have 2,900 employees and that we manage there, and it is absolutely, it's going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The doors don't close.
You should do it on the 13th because 7 and 13 are both prime numbers.
There you go. See, maybe there's a reason why. There's a reason why he's the richest man in the world. So he's doing something right. But thank you guys for being here again, Ian. Thank you. I appreciate it. Again, we are off for the summer, but we grow because of people like you. Please share through Facebook, through Instagram, post, give us some love on social media. Hashtag LA2M at LA2M on Instagram. We appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues. When we come back in the fall, we hope you can come back, see us again. We'll be here every month, and we'll have great speakers again. Hopefully one day, maybe Ian can, when he's back in the Metro Detroit area, come visit with us again and do another topic. I think you have more than an hour's worth of talk. somewhere in
Oh,
there.
I love talking as
So,
you heard.
I think we could take each one of those segments and make a talk out of it. So, everybody have a wonderful summer. We thank you for another great season. We had a little bit of discord here, but I think we found a new home, and I think Revel and Roll will work out really well for us. This room is a great room. Good sound, good lighting, good food. So, we'll be back here. September kicks off our 10th year, and I think we'll definitely plan some fun celebrations for the 10-year anniversary. It's been a great 10 years, a great 9 years, and we look forward to our 10th year. So stick around, network, make sure you guys meet each other, and welcome everybody, and thank you for being here. Have a great day.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, every month.
I do a 6 a.m., 7 a.m. class every day. I get off work and I work nights. So, yeah. Good to meet you.